And he goes on and he goes on. And the old man says, my name is John, and I've been where you've been a couple times. I want to help you. He reaches into his pocket, he pulls out a checkbook. Writes the guy a check. Hands it to him. And he says, young man, this is basically a loan. I want us to meet back here on this same park bench 1 year from now, and you can repay me. And the elderly man walked off. He sat there and he's like, wow, people really care. He opens up the check, and the check is for $50,000. He couldn't believe it. He looked down at the signature on the check, and it said John D. Rockefeller. All of a sudden, he started to imagine how this was going to change his position, how this was going to help his company, how he could use this money to bring himself out of all this debt. He could get out of the red, he could save his business. He wouldn't have to have this conversation with his wife, wouldn't have to have this conversation with his children. He gets in his car, he starts driving home, and all of a sudden he thought, I'm not going to spend this money. I'm going to put this check in the safe. And I'll only use it if I have to, because it's a great backup plan. He goes home, he starts to think, he starts to use a sense of reason, and he starts to think of how he can change his business and bring it out of the red. Wakes up the next morning, he goes to work, and he's sitting there and he starts to use his imagination of how this new change in business is going to look like, what it's going to feel like, how great it's going to be, because he won't have to have this conversation with his family. This new plan, every single day, he executes. He uses his will. Every single day, he's focused on making sure these particulars are in place. He used to be such a good business person because he used to have great intuition. He used to know what deals was going to benefit the business the most. But over the years, as things started to go down, he started to doubt himself. He started to just make whatever deals he could make. But now as things started to get better, he was able to rely more on his intuition. Started making good deals. 6 months later, the business is out of the red. 6 months later, the business is profitable again. Now he doesn't have to have this conversation anymore. Everything is good. Business progressed and progressed, and a year later came. He goes back to that same park, sits on the same park bench, sits there for about 5 or 10 minutes, half an hour goes by. Here comes the elderly man. He's so happy to tell this guy how he was able to turn his business around. Have you ever noticed that when things are good, you want to tell everybody? He couldn't wait to explain to this man how he helped him save his business and about all the great decisions that he made. So he goes on, he says, I was able to do this and I was able to do that. My business is profitable. I want to thank you so much. You've been a great help. I can't believe you came along right when I needed you. And he starts to continue, and out of the corner of his left side of his ear, hears somebody saying, hey, sir, sir, sir. Started off faint, but it's getting a lot louder. He looks over and there's a lady there. And the lady says, sir, I apologize, I'm so sorry. He breaks out of the mental hospital every couple of years and pretends to be John D. Rockefeller. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to know something. Outside circumstances will never be the reason that you fail. Ever. Hardships are meant to be opportunities to grow. They will never be the reason that you don't get the results that you want. All of that will be based off of how you perceive them. Your ability to take a situation and to think of alternatives. Your ability to use your imagination to think about how that's going to feel, how it's going to look. Your ability to focus and to stay on that goal day in and day out. Your ability to trust your inner self, to know what decisions to make, what decisions are right for you, what resonates the most with you. Your ability to memory, to commit to memory. You're powerful individuals. you have within you everything that you ever need to be able to live the life that you want to live. To be able to wake up every single morning and be excited about the day. How many people, when they woke up this morning, hit snooze 2 or 3 times? How many people woke up like whatever, hopped out of bed? How many people woke up excited, knowing that the day was full of opportunities and full of possibilities? Same situation, 3 different ways to look at it. I want to thank you all for allowing me to be here today. Listen, the most valuable commodity that we have is time. Even if we met back here a year from now, we would not, the circumstances would be different, and it wouldn't be the same. This moment that we shared together today is so precious because it will never exist again. So I really want to thank you for choosing to spend this most valuable commodity with me. The Buddha says the biggest mistake we make is that we have time. Ladies and gentlemen, time flies. That's the bad news. The good news is you're the pilot. So utilize your time wise. I want to thank you all again for giving me this time. I want to thank the committee for having me. And again, my name is Eric Shaw.
Thank you so much, Eric. That was an amazing presentation. Okay, now we'll be moving into